You've been damned clever. You've put one over on me. I'm dishonored. What am I to do? Must I let you take my money brazenly from me? You've planned everything so cleverly that even if I go to court, I'm sure to lose. I'll take back my money with my fists. See here, I'm Tokubei of the Hirano-ya, a man of honor. Do you follow me? I'm not a man to trick a friend out of his money the way you have. Come on.
He falls on Koeiji.
You impudent little apprentice. I'll knock the insolence out of you.
He seizes the front of Tokubei's kimono and they grapple, trading blows and shoves. Ohatsu rushes barefoot to them.
Please, everybody, stop the fight. He's a friend of mine. Where are the chair bearers? Why don't they do something? Tokubei's being beaten.
She writhes in anguish, but is helpless. Her customer, country bumpkin that he is, buckles her forcibly into a blanket. It won't do for you to get hurt.
Please, wait just a moment. Oh, I'm so unhappy.
The Blankin is rushed off, leaving only the echoes of her weeping voice. Tokubei is alone. Koeiji has 5 companions. Men rush out from the nearby booths and drive them all with sticks to the lotus pond. Who tramples Tokubei? Who beats him? There is no way to tell. His hair is disheveled, his sash undone. He stumbles and falls to this side and that.
Koeiji, you swine! Did you think I'll let you escape alive?
He staggers about, searching for Koeiji, but he has fled and vanished. Tokubei falls heavily in his tracks, and, weeping bitterly, he cries aloud.
I feel humiliated and ashamed that you've seen me this way. There was not a false word in my accusation. I've always treated Koeiji like a brother. Then when he begged me for the money, saying he'd never forget it as long as he lived, I lent it to him, sure that he'd do the same for me. Though the money was precious as life, and I knew that without it, tomorrow, the 21st, I'd have to kill myself. He made me write the note in my own hand, didn't put his seal to it, but it was a seal which he had already reported as lost, and now he's throwing the accusations against me. It's mortifying, infuriating, to be kicked and beaten this way, dishonored, and forced to my knees. It would have been better if I had died while smashing and biting him.
He strikes the ground and gnashes his teeth, clenches his fists and moans, a sight to stir compassion.
There's no point in my talking this way. Before 3 days have passed, I, Tokubei, will make amends by showing all Osaka the purity in the bottom of my heart.
The meaning of these words is later known.
I'm sorry to have bothered you all. Please forgive me.
He speaks his apologies, picks up his battered hat and puts it on. His face, downcast in the sinking rays of the sun, is clouded by tears that engulf him. Dejectedly he leaves, a sight too pitiful to behold. Scene 2, inside the Tenma house. Time, evening of the same day. The breezes of love are all pervasive. By Shijimi River, where love-drowned guests, like empty shells bereft of their senses, wander the dark ways of love, lit each night by burning lanterns, fireflies that glow in the 4 seasons, stars that shine on rainy nights. By Plum Bridge, blossoms show even in summer. Rustics on a visit, city connoisseurs, all journey the varied roads of love, where adepts wander and novices play. What a lively place this new quarter is. But alas, for Ohatsu of the Tenma house, even after she returns, the day's events still weigh on her. She cannot swallow her sake. She feels on edge. As she sits weeping, some courtesans from the neighboring houses and other friends come for little chats.
Over at Ohatsu, they say that he was given thrusting for something bad he did. Is it true?
No, my customer told me that Toku was trampled to death.
They say he was fettered for fraud and trust for counterfeiting steel. Not one decent thing have they to report. Every expression of sympathy makes their visit the more painful.
No, please, not another word. The more I hear, the worse my breast pains me. I'm sure I'll be the first to die. I wish I were dead already.
She can only weep. But amidst her tears, she happens to look outside and catches a glimpse of Tokubei, a pathetic figure wearing a wicker hat even at night. Her heart leaps, and she wants to run to him. But in the sitting room are the master and his wife, and by the entrance stands the cook, while in the kitchen a maid is hovering. With so many sharp eyes watching, she cannot do as she pleases.
I feel terribly depressed. I think I'll step outside for a moment.
She slips out softly.
What happened? I've heard rumors of every sort about you. They've driven me out of my mind with worry.
She thrusts her face under the brim of his wicker hat and weeps in secret, soundless, painful tears. He too is lost in tears.
I've been made the victim of a clever plot, as no doubt you've heard. And the more I struggle, the worse off I am. Everything is turned against me now. I can't survive this night. I've made up my mind to it.
As he whispers, voices are heard from within.
Like the silence, there's enough gossip about you as it is.
There, did you hear? We can't go on talking. Do as I show you.
She hides him under the train of her mantle. He crawls behind her to the garden door where he slips beneath the porch at the step. Ohatsu sits by the entrance and, pulling the tobacco tray to her, lights her pipe. She assumes an air of unconcern. At this moment, Kuheiji and a couple of his loudmouth friends burst in, accompanied by a blind musician.
Hello, girls. You're looking lonesome. Would you like me for a customer? Hello there, host. I haven't seen you in ages.
He strides arrogantly into the room.
Bring a tobacco tray and some sake cups.
He makes the customary fuss over the guests.
No, don't bother about sake. We were drinking before we came. I have something to tell you. Tokube, the #1 customer of your Ohatsu, found a seal I'd lost and tried to cheat me out of 2 common in silver with a forged note. The facts were too much for him, and he finally met with some unpleasantness from which he was lucky to escape alive. His reputation has been ruined. Be on your guard if he comes here again. Everybody will tell you that I speak the truth. So even if Tokube tells you the exact opposite, don't believe him for a moment. You do best not to let him in at all. Sooner or later, he's bound to end up on the gallows.
He pours out his words convincingly. Tokube, underneath the porch, gnashes his teeth and trembles with rage. Ohatsu, afraid that he may reveal himself, calms him with her foot, calms him gently. The host is loath to answer yes or no, for Tokube is a customer of long standing.
Well, then, how about some soup?
Covering his confusion, he leaves the room. Ohatsu, weeping bitterly, exclaims,
You needn't try your clever words on me. Tokube and I have been intimate for years. We've told each other our inmost secrets. He hasn't a particle of deceit in him, the poor boy. His generosity has been his undoing. He's been tricked, but he hasn't the evidence to prove it. After what has happened, Tokube has no choice but to kill himself. I wish I knew whether or not he was resolved to die.
She pretends to be talking to herself, but with her foot she questions him. He nods, and taking her ankle, passes it across his throat to let her know that he is bent on suicide.
I knew it. I knew it. No matter how long one lives, it comes to the same thing. Only death can wipe out the disgrace.
Kuheiji is startled by her words.
What is Ohatsu talking about? Why should Tokube kill himself? Well, if he kills himself, I'll take good care of you after he's gone. I think you've fallen for me too.
That's most generous of you, I'm sure. But would you object if, by way of thanks for your kindness, I killed you? Could I go on living even a moment, separated from Toku? Kuheiji, he's a dirty thief. Anyone hearing your silly lies can only suspect you. I'm sure that Toku intends to die with me, as I with him.
She taps with her foot, and Tokube, weeping, takes it in his hands and reverently touches it to his forehead. He embraces her knees and sheds tears of love. She too can hardly conceal her emotions. Though no word is spoken, answering each other heart to heart, they silently weep. That no one knows makes it sadder still. Kuheiji feels uncomfortable.
The wind's against us today. Let's get out of here. The whores in this place are certainly peculiar. They seem to have an aversion for customers like ourselves, with plenty of money to spend. Let's stop at the Asa house and have a drink there. We'll rattle around a couple of gold pieces and go home to bed. Oh, my wallet is so heavy I can hardly walk.
Spewing forth all manner of abuse, they noisily depart. The host and his wife call the servants.
It's time to put out the lights for the night. Lay out beds for the guests who are staying on. Ohatsu, you sleep upstairs. Go to bed early.
Master, mistress, I shall probably never see you again. Farewell. Farewell to all the servants, too.
Thus inwardly taking leave, she goes to her bedchamber. Later they will return. They will learn that this was a parting for life. How pitiful the foolish hearts of men who do not realize the truth in time.
See that the fire is out under the kettle. Don't let the mice get the relishes.
They shut the place and bar the gate. Hardly have their heads touched their pillows than all are snoring merrily. So short is the night that before they've had a chance to dream, 2 o'clock in the morning has come. Ohatsu is dressed for death, a black cloak, dark as the ways of love that thrown over her kimono of spotless white. She tiptoes to the staircase and looks down. Tokube shows his face from under the porch. He beckons, nods, points, communicating his intent without a word. Below the stairs, a servant girl is sleeping. A hanging lantern brightly shines. Ohatsu, in desperation, attaches her fan to a palm leaf broom, and from the second step of the staircase, attempts in vain to extinguish the flame. At last, by stretching every inch, she puts it out, only to tumble suddenly down the stairs. The lamp is out, and in the darkness, the servant girl turns in her sleep. Trembling, the lovers grope for each other. A fearful moment. The host awakens in his room to the back.